Health professionals are warning of the social cost of Australia's massive fly-in, fly-out workforce in the mining industry. They're saying the FIFO lifestyle is causing problems such as family breakdown and mental illness. And some workers have told Lateline they feel an enormous strain by living a split life in the drive to get ahead financially. Amy Bainbridge reports from the Queensland mining town of Moranbah.
It's early evening and the Moranbah Workers Club is buzzing with mining workers keen for a beer and a chat. Thousands of workers fly and drive into the Bowen Basin to work 12-hour shifts for up to 3 weeks before returning home for a break. But the average mining wage of nearly $160,000 comes at a price.
How hard is it to be away from your family?
You miss it so much. There's so much you miss it on, it's hard to explain, and money can never buy that back. No matter, you can't put a price on your kid riding a bike or your son's first soccer game. That's priceless, you can't put a price on that, so yeah.
It's good hanging out with your family and friends, but working up here you lose out on that for 3 weeks at a time, so it's a bit hard to catch up with everyone on my week off.
The mining boom means commuting workers across Australia are living divided lives. In Moranbah alone, there are about 7,000 of them.
You actually start to live two different lives. You live a life where your wife and obviously your kids do their thing, and then when you come home, you're actually probably trodden on their toes because they've got used to living without you.
Health professionals warn the so-called FIFO lifestyle is already proving costly for many.
It's not just the miners themselves, the employees, it's also the host communities, the families of the miners left behind in the home communities. All of these having impacts, and we're not really attentive to that at the moment. And my concern is that we're racing ahead with this economic transformation, and in the next decade we will see an escalation in problems from STDs to alcohol and drug issues to rising crime and importantly mental health problems often being connected with all of these things. Relationship breakdown is also certainly anecdotally coming through in much larger numbers.
I know that there have been some stories where it has, for individual families, been something of a catastrophe. That's very, very sad and it's concerning. So in that sense, I guess we can take the lead from the experience of some individuals and their families and see that it may give us a message that we need to look closely, we need to take stock, and see what can be done in a practical sense to support those workers and their families.
Unions say more housing investment would help workers live locally with their families, and that would improve the situation. But the biggest mining company in the Bowen Basin says many people enjoy the FIFO lifestyle.
People who commute like commuting and see the benefits for them and their families in that way of working. In fact, on the way up here today on the plane, I was sitting next to a chap who's working on one of our construction projects for one of our contractors. He's working a 5-day on, 5-day off roster, flying in and out of Brisbane, and he's a person who's never worked, as I understand it from the conversation, in that way before, and to quote him, he's loving it.
Australia's FIFO workforce is the subject of a federal government inquiry to report back later this year. Some already question whether the sacrifice is worth it.
Kids grow up without seeing their parents, literally, because if you do a 7-on, 7-off roster or compressed roster, you might be seeing your children who'll be at school when you're home, and there is a lot of, I believe personally, there's a lot of issues associated with it.
Well, one of the key things to do is to promote help seeking. That is, when people start to go through a difficult patch or are just not feeling themselves and start to feel that they're struggling with the challenges of the working life, the travel, the loneliness, financial issues or whatever, not to sit there and let that fester, but rather to seek help.
Suicide Prevention Australia says there is a wide range of services available in mining communities. Amy Bainbridge, Lateline.